Hey everybody, welcome back. This is question number 3 out of question number 5 with Matt Butler. Matt, man, you just keep dropping some serious wisdom and like some crazy graphics on this thing. I don't know how you're doing it, but it's pretty cool. Thanks for sticking with us. This is the halfway point of the podcast, and it's an absolute honor.
Oh, I appreciate you having me on. This is a great platform. We've had some great prior discussions, some being recorded, some not. We saw a lot of parallels of being from Minnesota, both being in the Air Force, so a lot of great stuff. Really appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, man. Before we get into all the fun stuff, man, I just get goosebumps. I don't know why. Like, something you just said just gave me goosebumps. Like maybe I'm going to attribute it to being in the Air Force. Um, can you share with me what your favorite hobby is to do when you're not doing all the things? What's your favorite hobby?
Gosh, I feel like my favorite hobby is probably just chilling out. I'll be honest. What I do when I chill out here. So I'm in Destin, Florida, for some of you that don't know, and so I live on the water. I've got a boat. I like to do deep sea fishing in the Gulf of Mexico. I like to go out on the boat and just chill out, just relax. Go to the beach, relax, just enjoy. I like to be around good company, friends and family on the boat at somebody's house around a pool. Really, that's my way to chill, is just be around close friends and just hanging out, socializing, being outside. That's important to me, just to be outside. As you can see, some of the products that I created with rollers and tally tumbler are really uh, outdoor oriented products, because that's what I like to do. I'm an outdoor type person.
Yeah, well, first off, you had me from hello on that one. I love being on a boat and I love fishing. So yeah, kudos. And there's nothing better than being on a boat, I don't think. Except for maybe what I could imagine would be better is being in a fighter jet, but I haven't had that experience yet. So I don't know. I'd probably be the guy that gets sick, but someday it's going to happen.
Yep.
Um, uh, awesome. Hey, we're gonna dive right into this one, right? So you've done some instructing at Syracuse University. Do you still do that?
Yeah, so I help with a program there's a nonprofit organization called IVMF, Institute for Veterans of Military Families, and they're located at Syracuse University. IVMF has a program for any veterans or spouses called Boots to Business. So that is my connection with IVMF and also Syracuse. So I instruct Boots to Business, which is a 2-day boot camp for entrepreneurship. So any veterans or spouses
Man,
can take it. If reservist, Air National Guard, active duty, retired, take it once. You can even take it twice. You can take it 3 times if you want to. So I would say look up the Boots to Business calendar and see what their schedule's like. They have it in person, and then they also have it virtually. So that's my connection back to Syracuse and helping them out with uh, entrepreneurship and business ownership to veterans.
you truly are a man that continues to serve even though you're not still wearing the uniform. So that's amazing. Humbled to have you in my network. It's you know that's what leaders lead is all about, is finding the people that are continuing to give back. As you do these courses and you think about the experiences that you have in the military, you're absolutely qualified, and you have the experience to um, and the credibility, right, to do
Right.
these things. And what advice do you have and do you give to people that go through these programs, especially aspiring entrepreneurs, whether they're early in their career and younger in age, or wherever they're at in the spectrum of age? This doesn't even matter age related. It's an aspiring entrepreneur. Like what advice do you give them, and that came from your experiences?
No, I appreciate that. It's a good question. I would tell them, one, take Boots to Business. It's free, like you and I were talking about LinkedIn. You get a free LinkedIn premium account, but utilize the free resources that are out there. When I first started Rollers about 10 years ago, I didn't have a lot of the resources that we have out there today. Some of them we talked about with IVMF and Boots to Business and Warrior Rising and Patriot Boot Camp and Bunker Labs. There's all sorts of different ones. They're free to everyone. Go and utilize them and connect up with other people. But um, going through just the basic business fundamentals, which I teach Boots to Business, is one part is planning and business planning, having some sort of plan. And we're all used to planning in the military, right? You've got as a weapons loader in an F-16, we have contingency planning
Hmm.
on what to do with weapons, what to do with aircraft if there's a contingency that comes up. When you close down your building, you need to have a plan if you need to exit the building. A base has a continuity of operations plan called a
Yep.
COOP plan. There's all sorts of different plans. So in the military, we're surrounded by plans left and right. Take that knowledge of planning and bring that into your business, because you want to have some sort of plan in place. Could it be a bar napkin or a one-page scrap of paper? Yeah, it could start off with that, but then develop it more, because you want to have something in place before you put your time and sweat equity into it, because your time is valuable. And also your money, your hard-earned money. You want to have a plan in place that you can communicate to what you want to do with that. And that's what I would tell people, is to have some a plan in place. We go back to the military mission planning.
Hmm.
Before you conduct a mission, and any of the services do this, you mission plan it, and then you execute it, and then you debrief and create lessons learned. And now, those three simple things of mission planning, execute it, and then debrief and lessons learned. um, some of them might be longer than others. You might mission plan or plan something, and it may be days, or it may be months if you're doing something. And even your execution phase may be longer than what you expect. Because if you're executing, say for example, I'm doing a marketing plan on on rollers, and it's not giving me the return that I need, well, then I'm going to stop executing and I'm going to debrief it and figure out, why did it not work? I'm gonna figure it out, and then I'm gonna remission plan it again, or plan something out and then execute again. But we're always going through these phases. And sometimes your execution, you're just continuing to execute because things are just going well. Things are at a state, things are growing, and you just keep executing. Um, that's an important part for business, um, to have a plan in place. And that's what, if anyone can take that away with starting a business, that would be most helpful, because a lot of small businesses do not succeed for various reasons. There could be reasons of financing, there could be health, there could be outside environmental conditions. There's all sorts of conditions why some of them don't succeed. But I would say, of the ones that did succeed, I would find it very rare if somebody did not have a plan in place prior to executing their business.
Yeah. Um, my professional day job, what I do, and leading a team, it's all about creating a business model around what you do, and what are your market conditions that you look at, right?
Right.
And um, there's different stages of programs that you go through, and there's different levels of accuracy you need as you get closer towards the market of what you're doing. And um, those change, just like
Yep.
they evolve. It's a living, breathing document.
Yep.
And I love that you said that, like, hey, if it's not the return you need, you go back and you replan it,
Yep.
because maybe you have the wrong inputs. Maybe you have the wrong value drivers, right, of what you believe the market's going to appreciate. Maybe you have um, a wrong assumption, whatever those things are. But you go back and you can assess it, and that's that. Or you launch the product,
Right.
and it's that it didn't go as planned, because let's be honest, usually things never go as planned.
Yeah.
There's one thing that's for sure. It's like the Mike Tyson, like everyone has a plan until they get punched in the
So,
face.
yeah.
Um, but it's how do you rebound, how do you recover, and then you regroup, and then you figure it out because you have new inputs. And that replan is so critical, and I think that's one of the things that the military does so well is the post mission um, action plan,
Yep.
and they talk about it, and they're okay with talking about what failed.
Yes. Yeah.
And
And
go ahead, yeah,
doing
share some of
going
that.
those courses of action and knowing which way you may pivot. And if you think through it ahead of time, then that'll decrease the amount of time for you to react to whatever you need to change to. But if you don't think through it and you do things on the fly, you're not able to assess the totality of what you're trying to do, and you may put yourself in a more risky position.
Yeah,
And, in the military, that risk could turn into people being injured or lives. When it comes to business, that could be time and probably a big loss of money because of something. Those are the risks that are associated with it. And having different alternatives that you could move to as part of your plan is very important to think through ahead of time. And as part of your team, we talk about you can red team something, maybe going through having an independent person or grouping going through and looking at the variables of that plan and thinking, have you thought through this item, this contingency operation, or this contingency plan? I would say, you know, when COVID first happened, I don't think anyone listed that on a lot of their business plans or contingency. I could bet almost all the business plans have some sort of, environmental or something that they can't control as part of their business, just like the economy, they can't control. There's things that are there, but because you can't control them, you still have to take them into your thought process of what would I do if they come to fruition.
yeah, I think you're absolutely right. It's one of the things I've learned from a program that I'm going through right now is like, how do you plan for the what you don't know? And I'm like, well, I don't know what to ask if I don't know it.
Right. Yeah.
Like, how do you ask the question if you don't know it? Um, and there's like, and then it put me down a path of like 48 questions that I don't know. I'm like, um, and it's super helpful, and it puts you through a ringer of questions to start thinking through, and you don't have to know them all today,
Right.
right? But it's like, how do you start thinking about it? How do you have a plan for the plan?
Yep.
Right. And so when you do get punched in the face, but as Mike Tyson would say, you at least know where do you turn,
Right.
right? And you're looking around the corner, or you know who you can go call and ask as that expert in your network, and that's why the network is so important.
Yes, most definitely. Having that network and knowing who potentially to turn to for advice and guidance if a situation arises where you're not familiar in some uncharted territories. That's important to have a good networking ecosphere of people to turn to.
Yeah. Hey Matt, that's I keep using the term wisdom, but because I think there's a difference between knowledge and wisdom. Um, and knowledge is like, hey, I've read it in a book. Wisdom is actually having applied it. That's how I
Right.
relate to the two words. And
I
so,
like it. Yeah.
um, thanks for sharing that wisdom with the group. What can we do as a community to lift you up on Leaders Lead?
Uh, what I'd like for people to do is be supportive of other veteran and spouse owned businesses, um, keeping that ecosphere alive of other people that are out there. There are all sorts of different companies that I know of that are either working out of their garage to places that have are public companies that are out there that are veteran owned companies. Everyone is in this journey at different levels. And it's very critical some of the companies that are brand new, that are just out there, that are starting, out. I would say support those businesses, as much as you can. As you find a product that's there. Is it a T-shirt? Is it coffee? Is it a candle? Is it a fragrance? Is it whatever it is? Um, that's what I do. Almost all the things that I buy, I try and support veteran-owned businesses. I don't buy just because it's veteran-owned. You still have to have a good product in place. There has
Yeah,
to be
right.
that. But if you find a good product and you do that, and then spreading the word of mouth is a very powerful tool out there. Spread it on LinkedIn, spread it on your personal Facebook page, whatever it is.
Yep.
So um, be supportive. It's a lot of work for people to start a business. A lot of their sleepless nights, their weekends have gone away. They're working to 9:30 at night. Their own money is being invested into it. There's a lot that goes into it. So just be supportive of those businesses. That's what I ask.
Yeah, absolutely, Matt. I couldn't agree more. And that's what we're trying to do here is spread the word about good causes, good people, and great missions.
Love
So,
it.
um, everybody, thanks for listening in to episode 3 out of episode 5 with Matt Butler. We'll be back for episode 4. You're not going to want to miss it. Yeah, I love it.
Thanks.
Yeah, nice job. All right, everybody. We'll see you on the flip side for number 4. Take care and have a good night.